Healing the nervous system from chronic pain, symptoms, and dysregulation is hard, messy, and unpleasant. Let's just be real about that. Most of this journey is not going to feel magical or beautiful. Parts of it will be wonderful, but a lot of it won't. Today, I'm going to discuss the hardest decision I needed to make while healing my nervous system. My palms are sweating even as I think about it right now. Over a decade ago, I was in complete darkness. I had widespread chronic pain and was almost completely bedbound. My pain levels were a 6 to an 8 out of 10 intensity, and my nervous system was incredibly dysregulated. I alternated between being highly panicked and being completely depressed and shut down. To be honest, I was completely hopeless, and I survived by avoiding attending to sensations inside and avoiding living life. Now, maybe you relate to living this shell of a life. Then I learned about neuroplastic pain and nervous system healing, and it really brightened up my world. Now, neuroplastic pain and symptoms occur when your nervous system gets stuck in this heightened state of emotional danger, and they can occur without damage or disease in your body. Now, we can heal the nervous system and eliminate pain, fatigue, dizziness, and dysregulation by using psychological techniques. I remember clearly the day that I bought into my symptoms being neuroplastic and that healing was possible. It was one of the most hopeful feelings I had over my entire recovery. But little did I know all the hard decisions that were ahead of me in order for me to fully recover. Changing my belief system, reducing danger self-talk, approaching pain somatically, feeling emotions, expressing emotions, processing trauma, and reducing unhelpful coping mechanisms. Deciding to do the work and make these changes was incredibly difficult and scary. So if you're at that place in your healing, I totally get it. But none of these were the hardest decision I needed to make while healing my nervous system. The hardest decision I needed to make was starting to live life again. See, I'm an epic avoider. It is my superpower. I learned at a young age to reduce anxiety and discomfort by avoiding my fears and certain aspects of life. So then in my 20s, when I developed chronic pain, anxiety, and depression, I started to avoid anything and everything that could potentially make my symptoms worse. But as I began to learn about nervous system healing, I understood that avoidance of feeling and living life was making my chronic pain and dysregulation worse. See, avoidance is a danger signal to your nervous system. It teaches it that feeling things is not safe and living life is not safe. So if you've been avoiding feeling or living life for a long time, and then all of a sudden you need to do that, your nervous system's going to produce even higher symptom levels because it views that thing as very dangerous and it's trying to protect you. Now, early on in my healing, I did a lot of somatic work with emotions and my pain, where I was approaching sensations within. And over time, I got really good at it. But I put off starting to approach living life. I was terrified to do this. I was terrified to start walking, moving, socializing, doing hobbies, or pursuing career goals. I remember the first day I decided that I was going to start to walk for 5 to 10 minutes. Ooh, I was scared. I was so scared that it was going to increase my pain and then increase my anxiety. It felt like every cell in my body was telling me not to do this. But I knew that in order to re-engage in living life, I needed to have the ability to walk longer. So I committed. I laid down in bed and did about 10 minutes of breath work. And then I started to practice walking back and forth in my apartment for 10 minutes while doing somatic work with my pain and my anxiety. And guess what? It did cause a bit more pain and a bit more dysregulation. But because I had been practicing the somatic work, I had an ability to tolerate this and be with it. Then, day by day, I kept making the hard decision to live life. I kept walking every single day and slowly increased it. And after a couple of months, I could walk over an hour, which was wonderful. Now, around this time, my two friends were playing badminton in our backyard. And I all of a sudden just had the confidence to be like, I'm doing this, which was kind of shocking because I was still pretty limited in my movements. But I went and I played, and it was this magical moment. I know I said at the beginning of this video that a lot of this healing is hard and messy and unpleasant, but this moment was magical. It was the first time in 3 years I had played sports with my friends and had a good time. Now, my friends for many years had gotten used to me being completely immobilized. So as a funny side note, as I was playing badminton, one of my friends put on the song Started from the Bottom by Drake, which was really hilarious at the time. If you haven't heard that song, go listen to it after this video and imagine me playing badminton for the first time after years of immobility. Now, I did this same exposure process with socializing, lifting weights, and pursuing career goals. And it wasn't quick. The exposure part of my healing took about 4 or 5 months. But by the end of it, I could fully use my body, I could work, and I could live life the way that I wanted to without chronic pain or dysregulation. Now, at the beginning of this video, I explained that a lot of nervous system healing is hard, messy, and unpleasant, and that magical, beautiful moments are limited. But if you keep making the next hard decision in your healing, you are going to have way more magical, beautiful moments. So ask yourself honestly right now, what is the next hard decision you need to make in your healing?